And I am really happy for this segment of Veranda Talk on Island Origins Live because I have a friend, long time friend of mine. She young, but we've been friends for a while, right? Nicole Ricca is joining me, and you may not know the name, but when you see the face, you're going to remember her if you were into those, 90s and early 2000s, these kind of music videos. And she's made some changes in her life that have been very productive, and I want to share some of that with you. So I am inviting my friend, or I have invited my friend Nicole Ricca onto the show. Hey Nicole, how are you?
Hi, babe. Miss you.
I know you're so far away. You moved away from the center of South Florida, but we're still close by. I can visit you in an hour one day and the
Yes, you
family.
can. And you better.
I will. I will. So do you still, since we introed on the music video tip, right? Do you still get recognized as the girl from all those, Mario music videos and stuff back in the day?
Once in a while, yes. Probably at the most awkward moment, 2 o'clock in the morning when I look really messed up. And I'm like, no, that's not me. No. Hey, I like to
What
go
was?
to Walmart at 2, I don't
Oh
know.
my
That's
God.
okay. I'm a weird person, but
You're one of those people.
yeah.
What was it like when let's call that the heyday of your popularity.
Yeah.
What was it like, being a model in that time? Like I remember when I was in entertainment and it was fun because of all the travel and the, being in a different spot all the time. Like what was the part of it that was exciting for you?
That was definitely what was exciting. I'm, believe it or not, I'm an introvert. So for me, this was something that I got to do outside of myself. And that's what especially made it exciting for me,
Right.
was that I got to travel to so many different places. I got to meet a lot of people. And the funny part about it is, a lot of people have this misconception of the music video world where they think that these girls have to be dating the artist or they have to be doing promiscuous things to be a part of that world. But it was actually very professional. And, you would go to a casting, you would, speak to the director. They would ask you sometimes to dance just to show that you have rhythm and that you could dance. Or
Mhm.
sometimes it would be a speaking role or an acting role where you're playing the role of a girlfriend. And,
Right.
they just want to see your skill set. And then you literally sit in a trailer, you get your makeup done.
So
So
it's work.
yeah, it was work. It was literally work. And you would
Yeah.
be on set anywhere from 12 hours and on. So,
Mhm.
it wasn't as easy as what people thought, but the reward of getting to go to all these different places and meeting people and just, being in such diverse places was fantastic.
And you and I have had some kind of, personal conversations over the years about the differences in, we're in a time now of Black Lives Matter
Yeah.
and whose skin color is better or worse or who has it harder because of skin color. And while we have been hearing a lot from people of darker skin, and I myself, when I was growing up, used to hear this thing about pretty for a Black girl, and I always thought it was a backhanded kind of compliment.
Yeah.
And you and I have talked recently about some of the challenges that you have had to face. While it became an advantage for you when you grew into yourself that you had the quote unquote exotic look. Uh, at the time when you were growing up as a child, you had trouble finding a space for yourself. What was that like?
It was definitely tough growing up. When I first moved to the States, my experience of racism was immediate.
Mhm.
I moved to Georgia, and going into kindergarten up there, the first thing that they did was point out that I was different. I was, the only Black girl in class. And I had an accent, and the kids made fun of me.
Wow.
And I specifically remember for Christmas, they made us put our shoes outside of the door so that, we could get a treat if we were good. And all of the kids were getting candy in their shoes. and I had hay in my shoe. And so
Wow.
for me to like not forget this, and I'm in my 30s, it definitely left a mark on me. I feel that colorism affects darker skinned girls greatly. And I have to say this first because I don't want this to be, you know, poor me. And so while I feel that darker skinned girls definitely had it the worst, and I feel really bad for some of the things that they've experienced, I also feel like I also experienced somewhat of a backlash from that. And I also experienced people wanting to define me. So
Right.
middle school, I had girls that, you know, threatened to set my hair on fire.
Right.
I had a girl that, you know, she didn't like me and she wanted to stab me, and she followed me home. And I had a friend that gave me pepper spray because I knew what was going to happen to me. And I,
Wow.
when she was ready to jump me, I sprayed her and I ran all the way home. And
Sorry, I shouldn't laugh.
I know. Well, boy, I did not want to get jumped. So, and I heard somebody banging on my door, and I peeked through the curtain and I saw her hiding behind my door with a big brick in her hand. So if
Wow.
I had opened that door, she was going to bash my head in. And
Wow.
I mean, these are just some of the experiences that I had. You know, in middle school, the white kids, they didn't talk to me.
Right.
I wasn't Hispanic, so then the Spanish kids didn't really relate to me. And then,
Right.
of course, naturally, I felt like, you know, I belong with the Black community or kids that looked more like me. And
Right.
they were just like, well, you're not Black. What are you? It just
And it
was
was
with
it,
me having to prove myself, prove
right.
who you are, and you know, well, you're not enough of this, so you
Right.
can't hang out with us, you know. And so I think that has changed my perspective on how I look at things that are going on in society nowadays, because I've been on both sides
On
of
every
it,
side, right.
obviously being a mixed race person,
I
definitely.
think it goes to how people look at people overall, because I didn't have that issue in terms of race, but speaking the way I speak and communicating the way I communicate, when I was on the road with, one set of people for a tour, the feeling was, oh, why do you talk like that? You must think that you're better than me. And I can imagine people going, oh, you have curly hair, therefore you think you're better than them, regardless of what it was that you actually felt. So I'm sure there are viewers and listeners who can relate to that in
Yes.
some way, shape, or form. And I'll say this, I always, on this show, on Island Origins Live, I always want to make sure, not that we're putting forward one perspective over another, but that we are able to understand each other's perspective and not just look at one side of the coin. And I find in the discourse now in America, you have we did a race related conversation last week with Sonia Sanchez Arias, and there was this perspective that white people mustn't say anything, it's not their time to have an opinion. At the end of the day, we all live in this country together, we're all going to have an opinion, and if we don't have a conversation, meaning a back and forth, what do you feel like, what do I feel like, what do I feel like about what you feel like, and so forth, we're not going to advance anything. It's just going to be one person beating the drum all the time, and we don't end up resolving anything because of this. So I just want to put that out there. Now, moving along to other things, right? You left the entertainment business kind of because you became a mommy to
Yes.
my beautiful little nieces and nephew. And they are the most adorable kids in the world, except for my actual birth nephew and niece. But they're all cute together, right? And what was that like? You left the music in the entertainment industry. You became a mompreneur, I think is the term that it's called, right? You started your business at home, and you actually started a mommy kind of business. What was it like transitioning from this high profile life to kind of running your business from home?
Well, funny enough, because I am an introvert, I didn't mind at all, because I mean, being in the modeling industry, you have to have tough skin. You know,
Right.
a lot of people talk about you, a lot of people say things. So to actually go to something that's behind the scenes and,
Mhm.
you know, I don't really have to deal with that, I was completely fine with it. And
Right.
of course, becoming a mom was the best thing that ever happened to me. And I wanted to find a way that I could stay home and enjoy my kids and support my family at the same time. So that was very important to me. And I've always been a business person. I had my degree in fine arts. Becoming a mom, I wanted to find something that I could do where I can be in the house, and it doesn't matter how many interruptions I get, I'll get it done at some point.
Right.
So
Right.
um, I happened to make a pair of nursing pads for myself because I was breastfeeding at the time, and I thought they were so cute. And I was like, you know what? Maybe I can sell these things. And
Mhm.
so I set up an Etsy shop. I made a bunch of those breast pads. I put them up in the shop, and a whole month went by and nothing. And I was so disappointed. I was like, oh man, maybe they're not as cute as I thought. You know, I finally got my first sale, and I just kept going with it and adding more products to my shop. And it just turned into a full-fledged business. And I was very thankful for that.
And here we are several years later. You've grown that business by quite a bit.
Yeah.
And you now actually do props as well as the mommy, the baby and mommy items. Talk about your full line of things that you do and how you've pivoted now that Corona has come around into even a broader footprint.
So a few years after I started the breast pads and my car seat pads and straps and, you know, mommy and baby goods, I saw that there were people that were making outfits for babies when they would do their newborn photo shoots. And I am considered a prop vendor. And a prop vendor is a person that makes the outfits for the babies when they're doing their photo shoot, all the way up to their cake smash, which is their first year photo shoot.
And you were able to pivot. That's one of the pivots that we talk about in
Yeah.
entrepreneurship, right? So you started off with one thing and then found yourself with the resources to do something that may be more profitable. And now again, since COVID came around, you found that with the props business, it wasn't going well because nobody's bringing their baby out to take pictures. And you pivoted again and have
Right.
found another level of success.
So when COVID was first announced, everything came to a complete halt because, of course, people do not want people to be in contact with their children. So the hustler in me came out, and I could see that there was going to be a need for masks because, you know, they started talking slowly about how PPE was not readily available. And I said, you know what? I'm a big person on making eco-friendly products that are reusable. So I already had a lot of fabric because I sew for my business, and I happen to have a lot of elastic. So I was way ahead of the game. When people were ordering elastic and fabric and it was taking months to come in, I already had all that product. So I was able to start sewing immediately. And every single time I posted a sale, it sold out immediately, and people were just asking for more and more and more. So I think that was such a blessing because I was able to not only donate, but then I was able to provide for my family, and I was very thankful that people were supporting my business.
I went on the site and I saw that you brought the entertainment back in there because you've collaborated with some people, and I see like some hip hop stars on the faces.
Yeah, so I had a couple, influencers approach me, and they said, we really love what you're doing, and we'd love to collaborate with you. And so Winwood Social, they contacted me and they said, we have this amazing fabric. So we made some masks together, and Melissa Molinaro, she's another influencer. She, loved what I was doing, and she wanted to create a collection that matched her, and so we worked together as well. Yeah.
Very nice. You go, girl. All right. So do you have any advice as we're wrapping up on, To any other mothers, to anybody who, you know, might want to take a different tack with the business that they're going, that they're working on, what have you learned from the past few years and even the past few months on how you can kind of pivot to make your situation better in a time like this?
First and foremost, if somebody is interested in creating a business, something that they can do to stay home, I want to say, find something that makes you happy. Find something that you will love doing no matter what time it is. Sometimes I have to stay up till 3, 4, 5 o'clock in the morning so that I can finish my orders. And if I didn't like doing it, that would make me so miserable. So find something that makes you happy. And then 2, consistency is the key. You have to remain consistent. If I gave up after that month where I didn't get any sales in the beginning of my business, then I would not be here today. As far as pivoting, I would say that obviously in this world right now where we have to social distance, e-commerce is the way to go.
Thank you so much, Nicole. I hear my babies in the background making up all kinds of noise.
Sorry, you guys. And I mean, you know what? Honestly, I've been on a lot of phone calls with businesses and I hear their kids in the background. So I think we all know that our kids are home because of COVID and that they're going to be in the background of all the phone calls and interviews. So.
At least they're not crawling all over you while we're talking, right?
Yes.
I would have liked to see them, though, but anyway, maybe next time.
You know, I had to lock the door, but if I didn't lock it, I would definitely be in here. So
I believe you. I believe you. Thank you so much for hanging out with me, Nicole. And I am sure we'll have you on at some other time in the near future. All the best to you and my babies and your beautiful family.
Thanks for having me, Caleb, and thank you for giving me a platform to promote my business and to also talk about important issues nowadays.
Absolutely.
Thank you.